Everyone, welcome to Perennia's 8th and final webinar of the Preparing for Retail Success series, provided to you by our Agri-Food Funding Program. Today's topic will be branding strategy at product launch. My name is Emily Page, and I'm a food scientist with Perennia Food and Agriculture. We offer a wide array of services to support Nova Scotia's agriculture and seafood sectors, such as food safety, agricultural extension, mobile wine bottling, and analytical testing of cannabis foods and beverages. At the Perennia Food and Beverage Innovation Center, we work with clients on product development, process improvement, nutritional labeling, and shelf life determination. I would firstly like to introduce our guest presenter today, Darrell Munro of Balance Creative. Darrell and the Balance Creative team work with companies to develop branding strategies. They have worked with many food companies in Atlantic Canada, creating successful brands and improving their bottom line. Darrell is also currently a board member and part of the senior executive team of the Atlantic Food and Beverage Processors Association. Lastly, just the Zoom housekeeping notes. If you have a question during the session, please use the Q&A button, which is located at the bottom of your Zoom window, and we'll be answering questions throughout the session. So please submit them at any time. And with that, I'll pass it to you, Darrell.
You're too kind. Thanks, Emily. I didn't realize I was actually the last of the 8. So this wraps it up with a bow. So welcome everybody. This session's going to be, I think you'll have some fun with this. There's some interesting stuff that we're going to cover today. And I think that out of this, I was just saying to Emily that part of this is, a branding strategy is something you can actually Google. You can actually get a template for this online. But I wanted to just hammer home a few points about, your business, your products, your brand, and where you're, a lot of this, the onus is on you and your relationship with the retailer. So in today's session, we're going to cover, let me just get going here, sorry. So we're going to discuss developing an integrated strategy to align with your product launch into different markets and different channels. So as we all know, and I think every Gary and Peter who have spoken previous to me, everybody's kind of hammered home this idea that getting your product on the shelf is only the first step of your brand success. We're just going to talk about some things today that will really hopefully inspire you to develop a plan that is going to win with your partners, who are your customers, i.e. the retailers, and then their consumers. So yeah, let's get going. Well, congratulations. So you've got your product on the shelf. You've been listed with a retailer, or you've listed your product. So you've actually cleared, when in some people's minds are, you've crossed the finish line. I hate to burst the bubble, but I think we all know that, again, what we've hammered home over the last 7 sessions previous to this is that that's the first step. That's mile 1 of a 26-mile race. So I think part of this is realizing that, that 85% of new consumer packaged goods who are on the shelf, they fail. And it's not that they're not great products. I mean, Peter Chapman makes the comment, it's not about the great, I forget it's exactly how he says it, but it's something about, it's not about the great products you make, it's about anyway, he's probably out there listening to me swearing, saying that it's this. It's basically like, you make great products, there's no question about that, but you need to sell those products and you need to support them, again, with the retailers and also with your consumers. So it's a partnership. So, like I said, the first step is your listing, which is, again, it's a massive feat. You put a lot of effort into developing your products, making sure that the packaging is right, making sure that the pricing is right, making sure that you ticked all the boxes to make sure that this product is going to do all that you said it would when you met with the retailer. So now, if you've listed with a big box retailer, you've had a category manager that you've been dealing with, and you probably have some sort of a relationship with. So with the category managers, any of our clients that they get their products listed, these guys want to hear from you. They want to understand kind of, they want to understand how you're supporting your brand and your products. So first recommendation would be keep those lines of communication open. So, if you can get weekly sales reports, if you can get any type of data about, who they feel that your demographic that you're selling to, just keep the lines of communication. So whether it's a retailer, whether you've got your product listed with a broker, and you're one of their portfolio of products that they've got listed with their brokerage, keep in touch with them. It's the same with the distributor. So if you're a food, if you've sold into a food service provider, keeping in touch with the distributor. So GFS with Cisco. I don't know who's out there listening to this, but I guess the point is that keeping the lines of communication and treating this as sort of like a marriage where you've got, it's a give and take thing. You need to communicate. You need to actually share information. So again, they'll share information with you. You need to share it with them. There's a third party in this partnership. Okay. Now I can't see hands, but can anybody take a guess of who the third partner is? It's a consumer. Okay. So we all buy things. I think part of this is we need to kind of remember, like, we all run a business, we all sell products, or we grow products or we produce products. We need to also remember too that you, myself, Emily, everyone's a consumer. So sometimes you need to kind of turn the mirror around a little bit and look at it from the perspective of, would I buy this product? Is this something for me? Is it something that, would appeal to me? Or is it something that I need in my pantry or my fridge or my freezer? Is this something that, again, is something that's appealing? Does anybody know what WIFM is? Can't hear you. It's what's in it for me. Consumers want to know, what is it about your product? Is it price? Is it the quality? Are you going to reward me in some way? Is the taste? Is there, what is it that makes you different? And what is in that for me as a consumer? Because I think part of this is, again, you make, probably the best, whatever it is that you make. You've gone to painstaking lengths to make sure that the quality is there. But, if you're just another Me Too product, or you've got something that somebody else has, what is it about it or your product that, for me as a consumer, is going to make a difference in either, it takes me a shorter time to make it. Is it better quality? Do I like the packaging better? What's in it for me? So, today we're just going to talk briefly about, a goal of having your sales to be at a certain level. Without a plan, you're just wishing that. So let's start at the beginning. And I don't mean to rehash this because I've covered this in the last session, but what is a brand? Okay. So a brand is a name, term, design, and this is from Wikipedia. So identifies one seller's goods or services as distinct from others. So the idea here is to create something that will be unique, stand out from your competition, and basically a promise to the consumer and to the retailer or to your customer that, you're going to support your product, you're going to be, with them, kind of holding their hand, not literally, but figuratively, because they want you to win and you want to win. So you need to work with them to kind of define what that plan is. So the power of your brand, exudes growth. You need sales. You need, we'll develop new customers. You need to drive awareness, and ultimately will be the success of kind of, of getting this product sold and you onto the next product that you're going to develop. You need to look in the mirror and be honest with yourself. Okay. What is it about your product that set you apart from your competition? There's thousands of products out there and brands. You don't want to be another Me Too. You need a unique selling proposition. And what that is basically, are you organic? Are you talk to the consumer and talk to your customer about what it is that makes your product unique. Because if you're just like everybody else, if you're just a commodity, then it's kind of like you're easy to kind of just dismiss and push to the side. Because if someone comes in and has a lower price, or they have some attribute that a consumer or the customer sees as more beneficial than yours, you're going to get tossed. So we're going to do this is a little fun little exercise. I just kind of put this in here because I think it's really interesting. There's some neat stuff in here. So what kind of brand are you? Okay. I think I've broken it into 9 categories. And so we'll just dive in. So this one, a disruptive brand challenges the current ways of doing things and introduces new concepts that are substantial and change the market. Okay. I love this product. Okay. Number one, I love the name. I love the fact that this is, it's a US based company that's producing this cheese. It's basically, they have a proprietary process that vacuums out all of the moisture out of the cheese. So they've created something that you would traditionally go to the dairy section or to your fridge in the crisper or the cheese, whatever it is, the cheese shelf. But you can take these to the gym. You can actually, throw them in your bag as a snack for the kids. They call it a naturally crunchified version of a food you've previously grabbed from your fridge. Okay. I love the language on this too. Again, moon cheese. I mean, we all know that the moon was supposed to be made out of green cheese when we were little. But I love some of these, cheddar believe it, pepper jacked. So the thing with this, again, you get a high protein, 0 sugar, 1 gram of carbs, perfect for somebody like a gym person or somebody who wants to kind of just throw something in their bag, all natural. It's made with cheese. So, it has all of the benefits, but it's just in a different format. Conscious brand. Okay. A conscious brand is on a mission to make a positive social or environmental impact or enhance people's quality of life. Okay. Great example. Nature's Path. Their website, this is a Canadian company. They're based in British Columbia, and they're a fiercely independent family-based company. Okay. Their guiding principle is to always leave the soil better than you found it. And their commitment is to use high quality ingredients to make healthy vegetarian and vegan foods that contain a wide variety of grains and a number of gluten-free items. So they have granolas, they have cereals, breakfast bars, baking mixes, and sprouted grain breads. So they also use part of the proceeds to contribute to go back to a campaign to label genetically modified foods. Their office in British Columbia has a rooftop garden where they grow some of the products on the roof. So and it's net zero waste, I guess. It's so a very green company. So a service brand. So a service brand consistently delivers high quality customer care and service. Okay. Perfect example. Okay. These guys have a great website. They're they're really making great grounds. There's a couple of these companies now, but I was a customer, or my family was a customer of these guys for a while, and we actually loved the products. Very customer focused. We actually had one issue with one of the ingredients that arrived in the box was well, it wasn't the best of quality. So I called the 1-800 number. Actually, I sent them an email, and within a couple of hours, they emailed me back. We went back and forth a couple of times with just kind of what the issue was, and they credited us like two or three boxes that would be free on the house. So very service oriented, and just basically, the customer is always right. So an innovative brand. Now, I mentioned these folks the last session that we had. So the folks at Cedar Bay Grilling, again, this is a client of ours. We've done work for them ever since the inception of the company. So Doug Park, the owner, is consistently, looking for new opportunities to, introduce innovative new seafood products into the market. So again, Remember I said about, convenience, you don't have to touch the fish, and, it's basically ready within a very short period of time. So as a piece of advice, innovation is one thing that you really need to look at. We're not going to go too deep into this, but looking for opportunities to innovate, line extend, and look for opportunities to have, if you have 3 products now, part of your plan should be like, would you like to add another one to the mix within the next year? Because that's one of the questions that retailers are always going to ask you. What have you got that's new? Like you don't want to become a one-trick pony where you've only got 1 or 2 or 3 products on the shelf. They want you to come back to them with new ideas, because they're always looking for new opportunities to touch a new customer, in their stores. So a value brand, it offers lower prices for basic quality. I mean, we've all seen the no-name brand at Loblaws. Again, great quality product, simple packaging, probably a little less pricey. Is this a space where you want to play? Is this somewhere you feel comfortable with as far as your brand? This is a price fighter. This doesn't have any essence of premium. They know that. I mean, it's basic quality for a basic price. Performance brand, so offers products that deliver superior performance and dependability. Here's a great example. Okay, pet food. We have a client now in Newfoundland that we're doing some work with that does pet food. This is not them, but this, basically tailoring to our 4-legged family members to get exactly what they need, depending on their particular need, or if your puppy has digestive issues, if they have, if your cat is having issues with their hair, their skin, you got one back here for weight. So, they all have a unique attribute. And again, it's based around performance of, who doesn't want their cat or their dog to live an extra few more years because they're part of our family and we spend a lot of money on them on a yearly basis. A luxury brand. I found this one really fascinating, okay? This is the most expensive caviar in the world. It's called Almas. It's an Iranian brand that the retail regular for this, okay? This is, I don't know if you're sitting down, but you should be. This caviar per US kilogram, 2.2 pounds, costs $34,500 per kilogram, okay? So it's not only the most expensive caviar in the world, it's the most expensive food on the planet as well. So unlike other types of caviar, which are gray, brown, or black, Almas is a golden butter color. I'm reading this because it comes exclusively from an albino fish that's aged 60 to 100 years. This caviar is actually sold in a tin that's coated in 24 karat gold, and the company claims that, of course, the taste is intensely nutty, oh so creamy, and thanks to what they say is their delicate salting process. So $34,000 US per kilogram. That's a luxury brand. Style brand. Okay, so is differentiated through the way that its products or services look and feel as much as or more than what they do, okay? Perfect example is our friends at Starbucks, okay? This is a UK product that just launched in 2020. There's 3 flavors of this right now. So they're going after sort of a higher end, this is a ready to drink product, so it would be in the refrigerated section. Starbucks is a lifestyle brand. It's one of those, somebody shows up at your house or they're at the gym or whatever, they've got a Starbucks. It's like a mocha cheese, I can't even describe some of the language that they use to describe these cups of coffee. It's a cup of coffee, okay? So this lifestyle brand is expanding into things like almond-based iced coffee, coconut-based cocoa cappuccino, and oat-based vanilla macchiato. So lifestyle is, Again, a cup of coffee is a cup of coffee, but it's not if you show up in a Starbucks cup. It's lifestyle. Experience brand. Okay, so they're differentiated through the experience it provides as much as or more than the product or service. Okay. So I apologize to all the vegetarians out there, but I just needed to show you this one. Okay, so this is from a company based here in Canada called Fuego Diablo. Okay, this is a Japanese Wagyu Reserva ribeye steak. Okay, so the reason I feel this is an experience brand is because these steaks, there's two of them, come in a package, are $329.95 for two steaks. Okay, so that's $165 a steak. The experience of this would be that if you bring your friends over for steak or whatever, you are not going to screw this up. You are not going to burn this steak, because for $165 per steak, this is going to be enjoyed with a bottle of very good wine, I would think, probably cooked to perfection, because again, you're going to cook this at home. The experience has to be, it's part of, if you're having friends over, they would be really good friends if I was spending that much money on them. But just, you want this to be an experience where you're eating a product in your home that would be at the same caliber of something that you would go out to for dinner with. So check it out. They're actually, we've ordered their products, not this particular, they have a lower end, the Fuego Diablo. Very good quality, and it comes in a beautiful box. And again, it's an experience. When you open the box, you see your steaks and they're sitting there, and it's quite something to see. All right. Okay, so so the product mix, we've got your product. You and the retailer or your customer have determined the price. You've got your place, which is where your consumer can buy the product, and your target market. So, and with that target market, you've got, promotion, advertising, public. You can read this as well as I can, but these are all part of what we call the promotional mix for marketing. And I want to remind you, this is a partnership. Okay. So let's talk about your first partner. Maybe you've heard of these guys. With sales of just over $50 billion in 2019, 2020, Loblaws operates 631 corporate stores and supplies over 400 franchise stores. So, 1,000 stores across the country. So any of you who have products listed with Loblaws, congratulations. And again, I spoke about your relationship with your product manager, or the person that you have your contact. Keep in touch with them about what you're up to and what you're doing. They have this little program called Optimum. Maybe you've heard of that. It's we are members. My family is a member of this. We've got my wife gets, or I get notifications about products that are, how many points we have, different offers that are sort of loaded in. The other thing with this is, if you can have a conversation with your category manager to talk about, how you can get your product, on this program, because we get, every week we get like our deals get loaded into our offers. We see what's there. The other thing too is repeat, meaning that, if I've done the research, but a lot of people buy the same products week after week after week. And if you become a go-to product for them, you'll start to show up, in the feed, where it's like, a lot of the list is already created for you to order your product online through the Optimum for the app. These guys are always hammering home this idea of, extra points for this type of product. Again, talk to your category manager and see if perhaps you can become one of those products where, if you buy your product, maybe you get some extra Optimum points. The other place for this is, because Loblaws owns Shoppers Drug Mart, there may be opportunities in the grocery aisle with shoppers to have your product in there. I mean, most of it, they do have some products, but a lot of it is dry goods stuff. So again, I don't know who's on the call today, but just it's another opportunity. If you have a relationship with Loblaws, you may be able to migrate some of the relationship that you have with the category manager at Loblaws over to someone at Shoppers. You know, there's always deals out there. They're always looking for, you know, get this, you spend up to $300 and you redeem 200. So that's $200, you get $300 back. Because basically you're making money. So that's as a consumer. So the other one is these trips to the grocery store are becoming less and less. You know, we order here in Halifax, we order through PC Express, and there's times when I actually miss going into the grocery store, but a lot of times now you just pull up to the stall, you open up your hatch, they put your groceries in. So think about products that actually, I got something the other day in our box. It was a box of this, I don't know if you can see that, but Annie's rich and creamy macaroni, and it comes with a coupon for another one of these. So they just threw this in. They just threw this in as a sort of an add-on into our order. So it's kind of like, because we didn't order this. So look for opportunities and talk to your category manager about, is there an opportunity that you can, you know, be part of that program? I don't know if it is a program, but I just thought it was kind of a neat way to interact with the consumer and to get trial with a new product. Remember, it's a partnership, and getting your product listed is only part of it. Maybe you've heard of these guys. Sales of $25 billion in 2019 and 2020. They have 413 corporate stores, 220 supermarkets, 128 convenience stores, and 65 drugstores, and they supply 913 franchise stores. These folks have gone in a little different direction with their rewards program. They've partnered with Air Miles, and it's one of those things where they're giving people what they want. I mean, Loblaws does it a different way because it's a proprietary program that they've developed. Talk to your category manager. If you can get on this program with Sobeys to offer extra Air Miles through their flyer, or just, you know, get on the radar. If you can get your product featured, it's a win-win for them. And again, you're talking to your consumers because you're giving them what they want. They can reward their miles for, you know, for goods, not so much travel these days, but it's coming. It's coming. This vaccine's coming, and we'll soon be able to travel again. Bonus Air Miles, again, just look for opportunities to have your product featured in some of these channels. The other thing I would say on these too is, if you have an opportunity to be part of their program, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, but just on your own social platforms or your own social media platforms, or whether you're doing coupons, whatever you're doing on your website, tell your consumers to go to Sobeys to redeem, you know, for your product, for the extra Air Miles. Again, that's why I say keeping the lines of communication open with your customers, the retailers, because they'll tell you, they won't specifically tell you what dates it's going to be, but they'll tell you, like, you know, week 23, you know, we're going to have some sort of a deal. They may not tell you exactly what the offer is going to be, but they'll, you know, if you have a good relationship with your category manager, they'll sometimes share that information with you. And I would highly encourage you to keep in touch with that, because this is how we live our lives now. You know, these little things that we call phones. My kids don't call them phones. They don't even, you know, you call them, they don't even pick it up. They just use it as a text machine. So flyers are all online. Everything is going this way. Sobeys, I don't know if anybody's heard of this, but this is a cutting edge, well, they call it a cutting edge online grocery home. This is packed by robots. So there's no one, you know, traipsing down the aisles looking for your product like it would be in Loblaws, you know, choosing. These are all, it's done by robots, and it's all done in the Greater Toronto area. Their team will deliver, or the Sobeys team will deliver to your house. So point is that, you know, the consumer doesn't get a lot of opportunity to shop. So I think your online presence and linking back to making sure that your strategy and your plan is based around what the retailers are up to. So reminder, it's a partnership. Maybe you've heard of these guys. 400 stores national. They have 1.2 million customers each day, okay? The Walmart.ca, I found this fascinating. It's visited more than 900,000 customers visit the Walmart.ca per day, okay? Big opportunity. They have their own rewards, but their strategy is a little different. Theirs is more of a, clear, like it's more about exclusive product offerings, flyer features, and creating a value, like value for you. So, they've got most of the pricing is basic, the lowest price is the law, or I forget exactly what their tagline is, but it's basically like, you can buy groceries cheaper at Walmart than pretty much anywhere else, including the other two big ones. So Walmart's getting into this, the pickup as well. So they're going to offer 24-hour a day curbside pickup, and you can actually go pick it up, and you can order it online, go to the store, pick it up in the parking lot, or you can go to the booth inside the store. You call for a pickup, and they'll bring it out. They also have a pickup tower where you can go into the store, you type in your order number, and you just go pick up your order in the store. So, how about these guys? If any of you have been fortunate enough to land a listing with Costco, you probably had to jump through some hoops because they're looking for exclusive pack sizes. They're looking for special packaging, and it may be a seasonal listing. So again, look for opportunities to talk to someone at Costco that, again, they're going to push you on wanting things that that the other stores may not have. So there a lot of, we all go to Costco, we're all customers. Remember, we all need to look at this through our own eyes. But when you buy a pack of granola bars, it's 36 or 24 granola bars as opposed to a box of 6. So if you have the means to be able to develop some of these larger pack sizes and sort of club pack offerings, these are great opportunity. We've done some work with these folks with Danone, and they want special merchandisers, they want special packaging, they want multiple packs sort of all bundled into one. Great opportunity, and again, if you can, it'll drive your numbers, but it's reach out to the folks from your Costco contacts and see what you can help them with. But they're looking for something exclusive. They're looking for something different than everybody else. What about Amazon? Does anybody have their product listed online? This is a great way to, they'll do a lot of the work for you. You just need to have the contact into there and have a good relationship with them. Again, it's a little bit of you're going to have to do some homework on how to connect with them. We've had some clients that have listed with Amazon, and they've had some pretty good success. During COVID, I mean, I don't know about your house, but Amazon packages were arriving like there would be at least twice a week. And because of that, corrugate supplies have actually kind of dwindled because there's such a demand for Amazon packages. So, you can buy, again, it wouldn't be necessarily fresh produce and things like that, but if you have a shelf-stable product that you could offer up through Amazon, look at that as an opportunity to sell as well. So think about your target market. Okay, so Emily, how are we doing for time? We're good, right? We got another 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
Yep.
Okay. So target market. So understand what the consumer and the customer's problem is. So again, you're looking to solve their problem. You need to think about who your target customer and your target consumer is, and you need to support all of the things that are promoting your brand with a specific target market that you're going after. Basically, you need to fish where the fish are. So the big thing with these next few slides are understanding who's buying your product or you think is buying your product. I talked a little bit the last session about doing some online research, finding out who wants your product, what age group they are, what psychographic they are, what demographic they are, just different, because I think it's going to help you to, like I said, fish where the fish are, and to also integrate what the messaging around what your product is to the consumer that's right for you. So you need to appeal to the right consumer. Okay, there's lots of different segments. There's lots of different age categories. There's different people spend different amounts on different things. We're bombarded as consumers to, with television advertising, direct mail. I mean, you go to the mailbox, you go, most of the things that you get are, I don't know if it's like that where you are, but we have a stack of, pizza flyers and furniture and real estate things. So, does that appeal to you, or does that just get thrown in the garbage? Because I think part of this is understanding who you're selling to, because if you can understand who you're selling to and who's buying your products at retail, and again, your category manager can help you with this. They can help. They can share information with you about who they think that your product is going to appeal to. It will help you to develop a strategy that, again, I don't know how many of you have or do you advertise on any social media channels, like whether you have a Facebook page for your brand, whether you have an Instagram account, whether you have heard of TikTok. Again, we'll talk here in a second about different channels for different consumers, but that's part of what you need to do to support yourself. Because again, you've got to the point where you're on the shelf. You can't just leave it to the retailers to do all the work. You have to work with them to support them and make sure that your communications that you're putting out is aligning with what they're doing. For example, we have a client in PEI that makes cheese, and they can tell us when they're going to be, like, which week. So we have things ready to go. Like, they don't know exactly what the deal is going to be for that particular week, but we can react quickly here, and push out through their social channels to go look for, this cheese product. It's $1 off. It's for a limited time only, and we do that on our social media or their social media channels. But then also too, I mean, if people are looking up on the flyer, or like a digital flyer, whether it's a traditional paper flyer, everything kind of matches up and lines up. So it's really important to get some integration. So, how many of you advertise or, advertise in the newspaper? How many of you have had an ad in the flyer? Well, I mean, we get them every week. We get them at the end of the driveway. I'm not sure that the bag actually gets opened, because most of the things that, the way we shop, it's not really. My mom would be a good example. Like, she still reads what she calls the ads. This is the flyers, but she always goes through the ads and looks for, things that might be appealing to her. Not so much for me. It's just, that's not my thing. Television. Okay, television ads are, wonderful things. In their heyday, when we used to do work with McCain, they would be, McCain was one of the largest purchaser of television media in Canada, and it was always an ad on about Elvis Stoiko, or there was something about pizza pockets, or it was just a constant barrage. I don't know how many of you watch television. My kids never watch TV. They're always on their computers, or they're always on their phones. So I think the opportunity to, for big budget television commercials to produce it's probably not in the cards. And again, maybe it is for you. Maybe that works. I don't know if it's a good medium for you, but I just wanted to remind you that Big Brother's watching you. Okay. And what I mean by that is, I don't mean to be creepy about it, but the reality of it is like that these little devices that we all carry around in our pockets are kind of our lifeblood. When we leave the house now, first thing you grab is your wallet. Second things you grab is your face mask. And your third is your phone. Like, do you go anywhere without it? No, you probably don't. So I'm sure most of y'all realize that these little things also have a little GPS sensor in it. So it's like, you want to go to Sobeys, Clayton Park. All I do is type it in. The reason it knows where you want to go and how you're going to get there is because there's a little GPS signal that you're sending. When you turn that on, you're sending it up to the cloud, and someone out there is like, oh, Darrell wants to go to Sobeys. Right now he's here, but he wants to go there. So here's how he's going to get there. So reason I bring that up is that, has anybody heard of a thing called geotargeting? So geotargeting is a method of delivering different content to a visitor based on their geolocation, okay? So we did this for a client a couple years ago. They were a football team. It was for the CFL, and it was actually for a client in Alberta that called Liquor Depot. So have you ever had these pop up in your news feed on your Facebook page? You get an ad for Oakley. It's like, why am I getting this ad for Oakley? Well, there's probably a pretty good chance that you've actually at some point been looking for a new jacket or something to do with sportswear. So all of that information that you're just kind of browsing through and you click on something, it sends a cookie into your phone, and it basically oops, I just killed the macaroni and cheese. It sends a signal to somewhere, again, that I don't know where these people are, but it's basically a way that they're keeping track of kind of where you are. So this is, you can do right-handed side placement. Again, if your business doesn't have a Facebook page, I would highly recommend that you look into doing something to set up a business page for your Facebook. So I just put this little ad in here. This was the ad that we actually created for Liquor Depot. So it would appear in your feed, so you'd be scrolling. So what we did is we developed a campaign that basically, at a home game for the Edmonton Eskimos, if you went into the stadium during game time and you sat down and you're waiting for the game to start, and you happen to just turn your phone on and check your Facebook feed, you would see this ad. Okay, so basically we set this up that it was within a 1 mile radius of the stadium. Anybody who was checking their Facebook would receive this ad. So it appears in your feed on your phone. You click on it, and up comes this little Facebook ad. So it's like, oh, Liquor Depot End Zone Celebration Club. What's that? So I click on it, and it takes me to a page on my phone that it's a landing page that basically says, congratulations, you're part of the Liquor Depot End Zone Celebration Club. And because you clicked and you were here, we're going to send you a $10 coupon for any purchase over $50 or more when you show your Edmonton Eskimos ticket within the next 48 hours. Creepy, huh? Like, I mean, there's the ability that you could actually, to use an example, you could actually set a campaign up that if someone was going to, if someone in your field of influence or the demographic that you chose was walking into a Sobeys store and your product was only available at Superstore, and they were checking you could actually, there are ways that you can set this up that again, if you're scrolling through your Facebook, there'll be some kind of like, oh, XYZ cheese things are available at Superstore. So, you literally could be, because you can geo-target this around different areas specific to where you want consumers to be buying or where they're from. So back to this one. So what we did here was, if a consumer did not redeem their $10 off within 48 hours, they would receive another email to say the play clock is running down. Don't forget to go in and redeem your $10 off coupon for $50 or more. So pretty astounding stuff. And I think, I would encourage you to Google it. It's called geo-targeting or geofencing. We've done it for a number of different clients. And again, if you want to talk more about this, I've got guys that work with me that are much more articulate about about how this stuff works and how a campaign can be built around where a customer is, and it's fascinating stuff. So just quickly here, we're going to run through some quick stuff here. Just the world's most used social platforms. Facebook is 2.7 billion users worldwide. Now this is from October 2020. Take note of this one, okay? TikTok is 689 million. It's now, I checked the stats yesterday, it's actually 1.1 billion users. Okay, so TikTok, for anybody of you who don't have Gen, well, I guess they would be Gen X or Gen Z, sorry, Gen Z. My daughter, like, she lives her life on TikTok. Like, she actually gets recipes from there. She gets all of the things, and she swears it's gospel. That's where it's all at. So just quickly, so demographics. So this is what I'm talking about here, is defining who you're talking to with the message and the product. Remember, we talked about what kind of brand are you? You know, do you appeal to millennials? Do you appeal to the baby boomers? Like, what's the sweet spot for where you're going to sell your products? Because I think this is really important to making sure that your message is on strategy for who you want to talk to. Okay, so Gen Z are they were born 1996 to 2015. They I have one of these. My daughter is actually Gen Z. They invest in themselves. They love. They're big on their own brand. They want to make sure that that they're setting themselves up to be, you know, a little more affluent. They want education. They want to spend time. They're very based around experience. They love. They'll budget money for things like going camping, or like they'll spend money on experiences. So if you can figure out a way to market your products where, you know, like, it's going to make your hiking trip better, like it's better nutrition, it's going to give you these. And these guys are very skeptical of brand. They're not so much interested in brand stuff. They'll research and they'll check you out. These are the kids today that read the nutrition facts, they read the ingredients list, and they do their homework before they actually commit. They're very savvy. Again, I would highlight your product in how you leverage the product on an experience that they're going to that they potentially might have. Again, these guys live online, like, you know, and if they have a good experience, they'll promote it with their friends, they'll share it. And that's, you know, if you're going after this market, my suggestion would be to have someone on your staff who is of this generation, because again, I'm an older, like, I guess I'm a baby boomer. Me trying to talk to a Gen Z person, you may want to have somebody in that generation on your team that can help to guide some messaging for you, because I think it's a different beast altogether. They do read the fine print. Millennials, okay, they prefer takeout to cooking. They like Uber Eats. They love Netflix. They would prefer wine over and spirits over beer. They look for opportunities for discounts. They're more of a discount shopper. I think that they like to be, they're savers. I've got one of these as well. My son is a millennial, and this describes him sort of to the T. So they value price recommendations. And the brand, they're big on quality. They want to know that, you know, they're buying good quality stuff. They don't trust traditional advertising as a rule. And again, they're on their phones. This is a generation that lives on their phones. So Emily's going to put this presentation up online. So if you want to read some of the more fine print, I'm just trying to be mindful of time here. They'll spend $4 on a single coffee. That's no big issue for them. and they'll spend more money on a hip restaurant in town, like someplace that they've read about online. Um, so um, these guys are. I'm just on the edge of this one. I'm almost. Well, I was born in '63, so I guess I'm into the gen baby boomers. But email works for these guys a lot. These are people that they don't think that they can rely on old age security in their retirement. They're looking for coupons. They love coupons as a rule. They tend to be online. They love Facebook. And they're environmentally conscious as well. So they like the fact that, green is probably a good thing. Local is probably something that would resonate with these folks. Social platforms, they like Facebook. So they like things like, promo code or discount. They don't believe anything that's too good to be true. Like they'll just roll their eyes and say that's impossible. So a little skeptical. Again, online flyers. They like coupons. And then the last one is just this generation this is more the traditional. So again, flyers, television. But these are the folks that have money now. These are the people that have more disposable income. They're looking at retirement within the next few years, and they are brand loyal. So these folks are people that will be more of a loyal customer. They use social media more to keep in touch with their family and friends on Facebook. It's not like they're not as swayed by advertising that might appear in their news feed. They like status platforms with their credit cards and rewards program. They like to be validated for, having a gold card and things like that. The over 50 crowd accounts for 50% of all consumer expenditures too. So again, big market, and again, a market with money. So target accordingly. So last thing I'm going to leave you with is all of the things that we've been talking about, especially on the social side of things. Engage with your customers and have a call to action. Okay, call to actions are what's going to make the register ring with your customers. Everybody says how many clicks they got and how many likes they got. Those are all great, but the reality of it is likes and clicks don't turn into sales unless you give them a reason or you give them some reward. Remember we talked about the WIFM principle where, what's in it for me? You need to think about what things that are going to be beneficial to the consumer and something that, again, your customer, the retailer, is going to say, oh, that's really clever. That's a really smart idea. So, it could be something as simple as downloading a coupon, watching a recipe video, sharing this on your social platforms, me as a consumer to share it on my platforms so that my friends and my colleagues will actually see the product and, hey, these, they're having, not that they're having cheese on sale over at Sobeys. Like, not that that's a big deal for me, but it's look for opportunities to a call to action. Your goal here is to sell. Okay. I mean, it's what your partners want you to do. And it's the reason that your product's on the shelf. If you're not selling, you're not gonna stay there, and you've got to support them. You've got to be. It's a win-win situation, and it's something that you've got to work at again with your customer and with the consumer. Just constant contact. Keep the lines of communication open. So we've talked about a lot of things. You just need to take this in bite-sized chunks. And again, I'm going to offer up to Emily that if she gets an email and people want to find out more about geo-targeting, they want to find out more about how to set something up with, like how to do online couponing and things like that, we do that, and I can help you with that. But again, I didn't really have time to get into that today. So if you want more information, reach out to Emily, myself, or, just check it out online. This stuff is, it's all there. You just need to spend the time with it and make sure that you're, that you're seeing it for what it is, not for what you want it to be. All right.
Thanks, Darrell. That was great. If you have any questions right now, would be a great time to slip them in the Q&A section here on Zoom. The slide on the screen right now is the Minister of Agricultural's digital series. So this is the conference that usually happens around this time of year, which has moved virtual. So there's 5 sessions here up on the screen. One's already happened, and the next one is actually Consumer Trends in Agriculture, which both myself and Peter Chapman will be there with a few other panelists. So go to our website for sure and check out those sessions. This would be the end of the Preparing for Retail Success series though, which I have put the link to the YouTube playlist in the chat if you want to rewatch any of them. They've all been recorded. I see our first question has come in here, Darrell, which is, what is the typical markup or margin between COGS to wholesale to MSRP? Most importantly, between wholesale and MSRP.
I honestly don't know the answer to that. That's something that's more, that would be more of a Peter question, Emily, I would think. That's more his kind of, ball of wax. I mean, I can take the question and I can ask him and I can send the information to Emily, but I honestly, that's a question I can't answer.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what those acronyms are.
I've heard of them, COGS and the MSRP.
Cost of goods sold is Peter's in here. Cost of goods sold and manufactured suggested retail value. Yeah, it's a bit more of what we covered in last week's session. So Peter did go over some of the different retailers and margins and markups and things like that. And we've also covered that in our pricing for profit webinar series. There's 3 of those that we went into big detail there for the pricing part of things. So if you want to reach out to me directly, I can send you links to all of those. And I don't see any other questions here. If you want to move to the next slide, Darrell.
Sure.
I think it has our information on it. Yep. So we still do have a minute. So if you have a question, feel free to put it in now. But if you have any questions about this session or anything covered today, feel free to get in contact with Darrell specifically. And then for anything, I guess, about the series, although it's now over, feel free to get in contact with me. And I'm happy to share the YouTube link to the playlist or past webinars we have hosted. They've all been recorded, so we have them all online. And I see here, Peter has answered. A walking around number is COGS is plus or minus 50 to 60% of retail price, depends on category in the store. Peter's information has also been in the other webinars, so if you really wanted to get into the nitty gritty of that, you can feel free to reach out to him, and I'm happy to pass along his information if you want to get in contact with him.
So any of this stuff too that we've covered today, just again, like we didn't go terribly deep on it. We really just scratched the surface of it. Again, the geo-targeting stuff, online couponing and things like that, very effective ways to market your product. And again, if anyone needs more information about that, feel free, because again, this is powerful stuff, and your customer, the retailer, wants you to win. They want, because if your product sells on their shelves, they're making money, you're making money. And I think part of this is, again, looking at this as a partnership where, you win, they win, but don't let this overwhelm you, because I think it's like I said, like you just eat the elephant one bite at a time. And if we can help to sort of help any of you folks to kind of, set a path to kind of to do some of this stuff, then this is what we do every day. So.
Absolutely. And with that, we're right here at 1 o'clock. No other questions have come in. So thanks everybody for coming today and throughout the series. And thanks, Darrell, for presenting today for the second time and closing us off. And yes, the YouTube link is in the chat. And if you would like to get a link to any of the sessions this year or last year's sessions, feel free to reach out. Okay, thanks everybody and have a great day.
Thanks, guys.